Hey everyone, Cleo here, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing a video that I've been super excited about, all week since I came up with the idea. I've been wanting to shoot it, but I don't have enough natural light coming in here on work days to be able to shoot after work, so I had to wait for the weekend to do it. But I'm going to be shooting my Mismatched Book Series collection. So I'm very much a person who needs books in the same series to look alike. I'm talking here about same size, same sort of artistic style, same format, same layout. Anything possible to do with the way a book looks, it needs to be similar for every one of the books. However, I have quite a number of Mismatched series still on my bookshelves, and I will be going through those ones, what bothers me about them, and why I actually have them in the mismatched version. Sometimes it's due to me, sometimes it is due to not being able to get them otherwise. Now, I know this is not a problem for everybody. Also, some people organize their bookshelves like for example, by color, meaning that they pull apart their series based on the color of the spine, and then it's not necessarily visible at all times. However, I organize my bookshelves by genre, so it's very much visible because that means that my series are always like in one beautiful line. I don't mind books having like different color spines for each one of them. I actually like that style. However, I do hate it when there's a height difference or something like that. The first books that I'm going to be showing is actually totally due to me. So the first two books that I'll be talking about is Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. So when I saw this cover, I said, wow, that's gorgeous, I need to have this book. However, when the second came around, I don't know how it happened actually, I don't remember. But when the second came around, I went for the cheaper option and got the paperback. I think only the paperback was available at the time, that's probably the reason, and I was very excited about this series and I wanted to get to it. However, I hadn't read it yet, and I've since read the first one, don't necessarily like it all that much, so I don't even know whether I will ever get to the second one, haven't bought the third one. So that means that I have this Mismatched series. This is still relatively okay, it's a hardcover versus paperback, but this height is already bothering me, and of course the different formats. But yeah, this is totally alright. The next one is quite a difficult one. It's the 12-book series, and I actually have 13 books. But this is also another one that is self-inflicted, so I think the majority of these will actually be like that, but I'll try to talk you through the reasoning behind them. So let's go for it. It is the Dutch edition for the most part. It is Book 1 in Cirque du Freak by Darren Shan, which is called in English. Book 2, very much same style. Book 3, Book 4, Book 5, Book 6, Book 7, Book 8, and then we get to it. Then I have Book 9. Yes, I have it twice. So I have it in English and I have it in the Dutch edition. And then we get to the problem, which is Book 10. I only have it in the English edition, meaning if you keep it next to one of the other books that I have in the Dutch edition, they do not match. Now, I never resolved to fixing this problem, and I don't think I will. Maybe, if anything, I will rebuy the series entirely in English if I can find it, just because the English ones are way smaller, so that it would save me a lot of bookshelf space, and I actually like them more, the style of the English ones. But the reason I think I never bought this one in English, in Dutch, is because I didn't like this one. So 11 and 12 are once again in the nice similar edition to all of the rest. But so this is totally self-inflicted. I will not keep them all up because it's a giant series. But so yeah, my reasoning for this is purely because I didn't like the book and I never got around to buying it in the Dutch edition to match the rest. I will see what I do about it. For the time being, it's just standing there. It's not really bothering me that much, but yeah, still. If you see it on my shelf, it's quite of a gap where the English editions are, so maybe I need to fix it. Now this next one kind of breaks my heart. So I'm a huge Brandon Sanderson's fan, and so I was very particular also about the edition in which I wanted these books. So when I was really getting into wanting to buy them, I looked up the different covers, so the UK edition versus the US edition, and I preferred the US edition for once. Usually for most authors I prefer UK editions, but I really preferred the US one for this one. And so I bought The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson in the mass market paperback version. Now I like mass market paperbacks. I know a whole lot of people don't like it. It's they say like, yeah, it's not bendable, but if you break the spine it's bendable, and I don't really mind breaking the spine all that much. But so I like how small it is. You know, look how tiny. It's so convenient to read from, I feel, versus like these giant paperbacks that don't fit into your purse or anything like that. And so I got the second one in the same edition, so in this beautiful Words of Radiance mass market paperback. But the problem with mass market paperbacks is that they only appear a while after the book has been published. So when I finally finished it, I was doing okay for the first two, you know. I started this series relatively late. You know, the first two were all, I think the third one was even maybe already out before I started the first one. But then I finished it. So I finished book 1 and 2, and then I immediately ordered book 3. And what arrived was this giant monstrosity of a book that was way too big compared to the first two. So I sent it back. And I looked it up and I saw, okay, like October 2019 is probably the time when the mass market paperback will appear. Then October arrived and I started reading the date August 2019, and I said, if I have to wait a year and a half, more even, if I have to wait a year and a half every single time one of these books appears before reading it, no. And it's also stupid to, for example, buy the ebook in the meantime, because I'm also spending money on that, so I might as well switch editions. So it was a very difficult choice for me to make, because it really is humongous. I really don't like this size of paperbacks, really I do not. I mean, yes, it's nice and flat like this and stuff like that, but it's just so ginormous. I mean, it's not easy to hold in your hands. I feel like I'm a child holding this, but yeah, I've semi-come to terms with it. Still, when I see them on my shelf, I mean, let's share how ridiculous they look. This is what it looks like. You know, first of all, the Tor book sign is on a different side of the spine, and yeah, they just don't match so well. But I think most likely these two will have to become this edition, because yeah, I won't be able to wait when a new book of these comes out. I will want to get my hands on it immediately, and that means I either have to get the paperback or the hardcover, and I definitely prefer paperback. But so yeah, this one broke my heart, really it did, and I really resisted changing the edition for a very long time, but in the end I'm happy I made the decision. I'm happy I got to read Oathbringer, and I'm happy that when the next one comes out, I will be able to read it immediately. So no regrets. The next one I do not own in its entirety, and I think I probably never will, and it is accidentally a mismatched one as well, and that is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. So I bought this one a very long time ago. I don't know exactly when I bought it, but it took me forever to decide to get into it and to read it. And then I read the sequels in the library. And the one that I have as well is the first part of A Dance of Dragons, which I got from my mother because she was staying in a hotel somewhere and they had it in their like free library. And so she took it with her. However, I hate when they split books in two. So this is the first part of book 5, which is also the reason why I don't want my Brandon Sandersons in the UK edition, because they also do this. They also split their paperbacks in two. It's also a horrendous cover, but yeah, it's a free book, so I'm keeping it for the moment. But I have spring cleaning coming up, and I think I might get rid of these. I don't know yet. Another mass market failure that I might one day want to get rid of is the next one, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which I have in, I think it is a mass market version. I mean, it's in any case a much smaller paperback than the one that I have for the second one. And that is this ginormous monstrosity again, The Wise Man's Fear. Like, yeah, I don't know why these paperbacks have to be such chunks. You know, look at it. That's... no. So the reason I got this in this ginormous size was I couldn't wait to read it, and then in the end I did wait for like 2 years before finally reading, so there's also no reason for me to have this ginormous chunk of a book. But so yeah, I'm keeping it for the moment. We'll see what happens when the third one ever comes out, so yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. The next one's probably one of my most mismatched book series that I own, but it is actually the one for which... it is actually the one that I least dislike being mismatched. The first book, Magic by Septimus Heap, I have in the Dutch edition. So all the rest I have in English except for the first one, which I read in Dutch, and then when the second one came out I decided to switch to English because at that time I was reading English more. But so yeah, I still don't mind it, and I don't think I'm gonna get it in the English edition because they actually fit quite well. So if you see it like this, this is the first one, and then we have number 2, which is in the English edition, so it's not too much of a difference, you know. Plus I like the fact that, you know, they're all supposed to be like in this old book style, so they're supposed to be semi-different, you know, just supposed to look like old books, that's it. So I have the second one in paperback, and then we get to the third one, which I have hardcover. So yeah, I have the first one in Dutch, the second one in paperback, the third one in hardcover. But as I was saying, I don't mind that much because they're supposed to have this old book look to them, which means that I find that it works better if they have more of an individual style. Fourth one, also hardcover. But then we get to the fifth one, which I once again have in paperback. And then we have seventh one, also paperback. And then we have the final one in hardcover. So yeah, all in all this series is pretty mismatched, but I don't dislike the results. I will try to hold them up. Alright, I will just do it for the first 5 because there's no way I'm getting the other 2 with it. But this is kind of the result. So you have the first book being in a different language, the second book being in paperback, third and fourth the hardcover, and the fifth is once again a paperback. So I don't think they look that mismatching. So I don't mind it for the series at all. And then we get to the author of which I have the most mismatched books, and these are not my fault. Which is the reason that I bear most of a grudge against these ones. And this is Anthony Horowitz. You know, I have 2 series by him and both of them are mismatched. Even though they start off great. So I'll first show you the Power of 5 series, which is actually the later series that started, but okay. So we have Raven's Gate, the first book. Evil Star, book number 2. Night Rise, book number 3. Ah, perfect. They perfectly fit together. But then, book number 4 happened. And while I got this book in the hardcover and these are paperbacks, the paperback edition was also different, so there was no way that I could have made a match, so I might as well make a total change. And that is Necropolis by Anthony Horowitz. First of all of these have a black spine on the side. This one does not. This one is also way bigger. Also the paperback was way higher than the rest of them was. So we end up with this. I am not amused. And that's not it, because I have a second series by him and I think it was alright for like 6 books and then it got destroyed. So yeah, there is a difference here in editions that is totally my own choice, but that is also because the editions changed automatically, and so if I was gonna have to change editions I might as well change languages as well. So I have the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in Dutch and I have the second 2 in English. I have also the difference between the first one, which is a paperback, and the second one and all of the rest, which are hardcovers. This is because I got this one for free and they look really good next to each other, you know. There's another book that has the exact same color scheme next to each other. It's really not that big of a difference. But so yeah, I got the first one for free. This is, by the way, the Alex Rider series by Anthony Horowitz. I absolutely devoured this series when I was younger. I reread it a lot of times. Together with Harry Potter, it was one of the series I loved most when I was in high school. So I got the first one like this. Second one I have in the hardcover edition. Third one also. You can see they have somewhat of a similar style, you know. They have like some sort of outward going like effect on it. I don't know whether you see it that clearly on the screen. Eagle's game already does a little bit different, but it still stays within the blue range. All of these have a very nice blue cover. You get to books 5 and 6, the blue cover remains. Nice, but 10. Then books 7 happened. And book 7 in Dutch has the exact same layout as the English one does, which totally diverges from the previous 6. This is book 7. Book 7 would have looked just the same in Dutch, but just had a Dutch title and a Dutch book in it. But so this is the horror that faced me there, you know? Going from this, and imagine 6 other blue books here, to that. So that's what happened. I couldn't help it. The editions changed. All of the previous books became available in this edition, and yeah, I was not going to buy all of them again. And then, even better, a while later, the 8th book came out. And where they've already done a nice edition change for this one, we got this. What's this? All of the books that are like supposedly now previously out are in this black edition. And now we're getting this, with sprayed edges, a more rounded spine than the others, a blinky thing, a dust cover, I mean, a dust jacket. Maybe I should just take it off, actually. That is actually a good idea. Maybe I should just do that. You know, that might be a semi-solution if it weren't for the fact that it's still very different. But yeah. So this is my most mismatched series. You know, I see where they're going for with this crocodile tears, you know. It's a nice cover, you know. You have the relief of like snake skin on it that I don't know whether you see it all that, yeah, like that, you see it a bit. And you have like the red and green coming back from the red eye, but yeah, I don't like it. I actually think there might be a new Alex Rider out that I've not bought yet. Probably if I buy it, it'll be another edition as well. So I'm not going to show you entirely. I'll show you like the next 4 books. So that's what that looks like together, except I have like 4 other blue books next to this. So these final 2 really don't match. And we get to my final mismatched series, at which point I really didn't care anymore because I already had so many mismatched series. I also think I won't be keeping them because I read the first book and I totally hated it. So this is a lesson to you all: don't buy a full series until you've read the first book. So it is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Sequel Shadow of Night is still nice and on point. Like, I mean, they don't really look very similar, but when you put them next to each other, it is still very much in the same vein, or at least the same size. And then we have third one, once again, one of these ginormous editions. But yeah, as I said, I really didn't like the first one, The Discovery of Witches. I semi feel intrigued to know where the story is going. But I also was so annoyed with this book all the time, so I don't see why I would do that to myself again. So yeah, these were all of my mismatched series. I get bothered about some more than about others, which, as you probably realized throughout this video. I really enjoyed making this video. It's like something that I discussed a lot with friends about books and about this whole problem of the mismatched books, but I never really like took the time to really take inventory of all of the mismatched books and the reason why they are mismatched and things like that. So it was very interesting to see, and also to see that sometimes it is really my own choice to break from a certain layout. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you do. It really will help me a lot. And please also feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. I don't have a regular posting date, but I do try to get to 1 a week. And then yeah, comment down below about your mismatched books. You know, what's the thing that bothers you most? You know, do you mostly get bothered about the layout changing or mostly about the size of the book changing? I think for me it's I cannot decide between the two. I think if I really had to choose, I think the size of the book is what mostly bothers me. I think I'd be more willing to live with a layout change which stays the same height than with a height difference coming in between there, but that's just personal. So yeah, comment down below and see you for the next one.